Finally, I have a quick question for you. Have you ever tried cycling before? Well, we have the lead cycling instructor, Phil, from LA Fitness, and he's an expert in cycling, and he's been doing this for years. I think he's trying to get me to do his class, but he started trying to improve his health, and he fell in love with the sport. And he's going to show us how he does what he does and why we should try a spin class. Yeah, you know, he's trying to get me to try the class too. But before we get into it with Phil, let's talk about today's hot topic. I think Phil's going to join me for today's hot topic. So our hot topic today, Phil, is how do we get our heart rate up during a workout, which is a fun fact because guess what? I know spin classes are great at that. So what do you suggest that we do? Because for me, I think I spend so much time in the office and working that I love to be outdoors. So if we had an outdoor class where we can be bicycling outdoors and change the scenery, sign me up. But for me, I just don't like to be stationary. I'm being honest, Phil. Come on. But
okay.
Why should we do a spin class to get that heart rate up?
Spinning is by far the highest version of cardio that's low impact. So, you know, for years, everybody's running outside, and then they started talking about, oh, you're hurting your knees, you're hurting your ankles. On a spin bike, it's low impact, but the cardio involved, can be exciting. I always warn people, your heart rate's going up. Please pay attention to your heart rate.
Now,
it stays up.
I was gonna say, but if we got the heart rate going, we're getting the muscles warmed up, we're getting more blood and oxygen going. So that'll be less likely that we're gonna have any tears or getting a torn muscle. And then at the same time, we're burning a whole lot of calories that a lot of people are concerned about, right?
Yes. Listen, once you get your heart rate up, and I tell people, now we're burning. The calories are coming off. You feel better. The endorphins get released. Be careful about not being able to stop because, I preach it. Stay hydrated because cramping up is real. It's not fun.
I learned after I did my first marathon, and I was like, I thought I was pretty well hydrated. I thought I had the electrolytes. You know, I finished the marathon, didn't have any cramps, walked like that umpteen thousand miles out of Central Park because, you know, I did New York City Marathon twice, and walked those umpteen thousand miles to the car in the parking lot, and got in the car, and all of a sudden, when I reached for the seatbelt, my entire body went into spasm. And I don't normally curse, but I was cursing, praying at the same time. I had to ask God for forgiveness because it was just so intense for me that I really felt like I was going to pass out. And it was bad. And then my husband was like, give it a Gatorade. I was like, no, I don't like Gatorade. And then they handed me the Gatorade. And after like about 3 sips, I was like, okay, are we going to go get some pizza now?
Well, yes, there's the other side of it. You burn off so much, you're starving.
Yes.
Afterwards, like you can't help it. Look, you ran a marathon. Your body wants to replace everything that it believes it just burned off. Okay, it wants it all back. No, of course, the key is not to give it all back. Not willingly put up a fight. You know, like no, I'm not gonna do it. Extra trees, extra sauce, diet soda. Really?
Well, you know, I'm going to say I did it. I learned my lesson. You know, the next 2 marathons went a lot better as far as being hydrated. There was no further cramping at that. But I mean, cycling definitely is a good way to get the heart rate up and not really worrying about, like you said, the pressure on the joints and the tearing of the muscles. So even if you can't cycle and you don't have access to a cycling, you know, a cycle or a bike, you know, it's good that you go up and down the stairs. You take hills and maybe like climb up some hills in your neighborhood at a local park. But really, if you're trying to say no pressure, cycle is really no pressure on your knees.
I tell people, start with walking.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, don't underestimate how good walking can be.
Mm-hmm.
But when you feel like you want to move to the next level, okay, you go somewhere where there's no pressure. I mean, look, I'm not the guy that's gonna get off my bike and get in your face and go, Michelle, you're lazy. You better work hard. I want to do that, but I don't.
Oh, good.
Instead, you'll catch me staring at you every few so often, like, come on, it's a little bit more. I try to guilt you, and I'm good at it. I'm good at guilting you into doing something you wanted no part of. So,
but you know what? Let's not say guilting, like making sure that you're encouraging and motivating. And saying like, you're doing a great job. Because if you say guilt, I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to go for the bathroom break. And then you'll be like, where did she go? Like, she's still on bathroom break.
Oh, no. That's when I come after you. That's when I come after you. See, if you're struggling in the class, I'm like, no, it's okay. I preach to everyone. You have to ride at your pace and you have to listen to your body. If you listen to me, you will get hurt trying to keep up. You don't care about that. You care about your welfare. This is all about your health. When I started, it was for my health. I wasn't looking around the room going, they're better than I am. You don't care. You have to think about your health. So, I'd be like, come on, you give me more when you can. When you can, you don't. You just keep moving. You keep moving. That way, your body's always working. Your body's, if you stop, you cramp up.
But that's very true. And and you have to get to the point where you feel comfortable doing what you're doing. And the moment that you start to feel like any chest pain, shortness of breath, and I'm not talking about being a little breathless, but like you really can't breathe, or you start to feel like the room is spinning and everything else is spinning, that's when you know you've done a little bit too much. So when you're out there cycling or doing any exercise at all, I think it's probably important, Phil, that people remember that it's really you on your own taking care of your body. You cannot be competing with whoever is sitting next to you, behind you on the cycle, in front of you, or even the instructor. It has to be at your pace. And then running with Black Girls Runs, that's one of the things that we always talked about, like your race, your pace, like stay in your zone and do what feels, the most comfortable for you.
It is. I've started every single class I teach for the last 15 years by saying the exact same words. Ride at your pace, not mine. Don't attempt to keep up with me. I'm supposed to do this. I need listen to your body. When your body says, Phil's going too fast, too strong, listen to your body. Like I said, if you feel a little pain in your chest or shortness of breath, no, you reel that in. But also at the same time, listen to your body. When your body goes, we can go.
That's true.
Then you go. You let it all go. I said, there's no pressure. There is no wrong pace. I think all you want to do is finish what you start. And by any means.
And I was gonna say, and now that we talking about finish what you start, like my favorite thing is talking about in real life. So in real life, we decided to start a formal boot camp this year. So prior to this, prior to COVID, I was doing walks. I might get 15 to 20 ladies and some men who wanted to walk with me. We would do exercises on the beach. We would do things in the park, not just walking, but some running, some, high intensity interval training, things like that. Even we've done yoga. But this year we decided to do a formal boot camp every Saturday at 7 a.m. before we're trying to eliminate all those excuses before it gets too
before it's too hot outside.
That's right. And so our instructor, along with myself, is boot camp guru Ty Wilkins. And he puts us all on the front line. Everyone's a frontline person, so you're not looking behind you. Everybody is right there. He really individualizes what he does. So everybody else might be doing 20 and he's like, okay, you do 50, pointing to me and some other people. But you know what? But sometimes that's the motivation that you need, because you tell me 20, that's right. I'm going to do 20 just like everybody else and call it a day. But it's a good feeling when it's time for me to like finish up the class. Because you know what? I know that I did my best. I showed up. And a lot of times, I tell patients, I was like, you think you doing this because like I'm trying to hold you accountable? A lot of times I tell everybody else what I'm doing to hold myself accountable. I'm human. I'm not perfect, but that's my real life moment for me. Now we're going to hop to you, Phil. You are the lead instructor at our LA Fitness over here. I've been there probably about 6, 7 times over the last couple of years. About 4 of them would get smoothies.
Oh, come on. Well, listen, the smoothie bar is right next to my office.
Oh, yeah. And I go right to the smoothie bar. And it's like the best thing ever. But now that we know that you're the lead instructor as far as the cycling team, what is one fun fact that nobody really knows about you? First thing that comes to your head, Phil, don't let me down, because you are the one who's taking the longest pause ever.
The joke is they never realize, like, I'm exhausted. and I'm torturing the class. Like, we're having so much fun together. The energy is so, they don't, and I didn't let them know, but their energy gives me the energy I need. I'm always telling them during the class, we're in it together. They have no idea how true that fact is. Like, we are in it together, and they get wild, and they're energized, they're happy, they're crazy. Everybody's doing it together, and I'm feeding off of it. Like, I've walked in dragging my bag, like, oh God, what have you done?
True.
And then they've looked at me like, oh, Phil doesn't have it today. And I'm like, uh-huh. And then the lights go out and the music turns on. And they're like, what just happened? Because they're already clapping and screaming, and I feed off of it. It's the best feeling ever. It doesn't matter what else is going on. When that happens, I don't think of anything else. I'm all in. I am all in. I'm like, yes.
So let me ask you a question. More. So with you going all in, what makes, like, for someone like me, because I will admit, I've been to Orange Theory. I have a hybrid bike. I love riding outdoors. So what would make me join your class as opposed to like me pulling out my bike, putting on my helmet, and hitting the road?
Pure energy. It's the difference between, say, working out alone and working out in a group. There is nothing wrong with the person who can work out alone. Nothing. But there's a feeling you get when you're with me, when you feel what's happening, like you can't help it. I always warn people, don't let me talk you into doing something you didn't want to do, because that's what I'm good at. I'm the motivator. I am the best motivation you're ever going to get. I said, and that's what happens. Like, you'll say, like, why should I do that? Why should I do that? And I'm like, you need to feel what this feels like. There is a sense of accomplishment when you do it. When you're done, you're like, I did that, and it was amazing. Like, I'm like, I don't know how I survived it, but oh my God. And this is what I hear. Even this week, I had new people show up, and I always know when you're new, because I know you've never been with me. I'll always know. And I walked up, and they were like, we heard about you. And I went,
oh, wow.
I went, is that good or bad? And they're like, we drove 20 miles from our gym to ride with you. And we need to know if it's what they say it is. Oh, I can be a little motivating. That's what I told them. They're like, we'll see. They were screaming, crying, clapping, whistling. The class was over. They were like, we ride at home sometimes, and we'll take the ride down Jones Beach. It's 14 miles. Nothing felt like that. It's the atmosphere. And that's why I do it. That's literally why I'm helping them, and they're loving, like they're appreciative of, they're like, we couldn't have done that without you. We could have tried, but it wouldn't have felt the same. It's what you feel. I tell people, if you can do it alone, great. But if you need somebody to give you a little extra energy, the class environment, I'm going to say with the right instructor, the class environment with the right instructor it'll make you climb Kilimanjaro. You're like, no, I can make it to the top. I can make it to the top. And that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. Like, I watch people who are like, I'm never going to do this. And I'm like, we'll see. We'll see.
Wait a second. So now that you got people at the top coming back,
you got to go down.
Oh, wait. But you don't do this full time. This is like a part-time thing for you.
Fact.
So now
this is not my job.
So what do you do full time? And then what made you decide to take this on?
I'm a computer guy. I've been running my own IT company for 30
years now.
I'm the computer guy. I'm the IT guy. I'm the guy you call up when your networks are out, when your computers aren't working. You moved into a building, you need all new equipment. I'm that guy. 30 years. But people tend to not pay attention to their health the way they should. I was guilty of that. I was guilty. I was guilty. I was really guilty. And I thought I was the man, because we do.
But Phil, you were concerned about the health of people's internal system of their business, right? And then how did you go from that, but then not taking care of your internal system of this body that you have? You had your eyes looking up, so you missed all my theatrics and everything. So you're not right.
It was what had happened was it wasn't good. And the joke was, I was 40 years old and seriously overweight. That was like the joke. I went to the doctor complaining about migraines. I had never really been sick in my life, so no big deal. And the doctor goes, well, you're fine. He goes, I don't know how. He's picking on me. He goes, but you need to lose 50 pounds. And I said, I'm 40 years old. There's no chance on the planet I lose 50 pounds.
Wow.
He goes, well, everybody in your family's been sick. Nobody took care of themselves. You've made it this long. Maybe you should take care of yourself. And I thought, I've got 2 small children, and I'm going, maybe he's got a point. So then the next day, I joined a gym. And you have to be driven. Like, you have to be driven. I wasn't. Nobody hated a gym more than I did. But I joined anyway. I started with one class. I struggled. Came back, did it again. I struggled, but I kept coming back. I was determined. And then all of a sudden, I lost 60 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I didn't lose 50, I lost 60.
Over what period of time?
60 pounds in 7 months.
60 pounds in 7 months. And you were...
I got serious.
Okay,
I was severely overweight.
Phil, you were saying you were overweight. So I don't think you were overweight. You were probably either obese. So your body mass index was between... No, I'm being real.
Can we not use that word?
Well, I normally say not at a healthy weight.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that you were probably in that range of being, if we're going to go by a body mass index, and of course, body mass index, medically, we're still using it. It's an old tool, not always accurate, because if you are very muscular, your body mass index is going to be higher because you don't really have as much fat, and we know muscle weighs more than fat. But I'm just saying, because medically, when people go to the doctor, that's what they are told. Like, your body mass index is a perfect 24. But, if you look at the person, you're like, they have no muscle or whatever. And it doesn't measure your strength. But I'm just saying you were probably in that obese category. But then you were exercising. But now let's be real. You have full-time business. and your health became your part-time business. But then at the same time, it must have been a full-time business for you to take care of your health to lose 60 pounds in 7 months.
Yeah.
So you were
I went all in.
Yeah, but how often were you exercising? And then how much of your nutritional change did you have to do? And you look it up again.
Yeah, because those are all the scary questions. Okay, like what were you eating? And I'm going, but look, there's the issue. I lost 60 pounds, and then I lost another 15, and at 75 pounds, I hit a wall. I hit a wall, and I'm like, what is going on? What's wrong? And I go back to the gym. I say to their head trainer, listen, I don't like the gym, and I hate pain, but I won't quit. I need help. And I didn't need to lose more weight at the time, but now my ego was involved. And I was like, I'm doing better and I feel great. I felt great. So, and they were like, okay, you need to change your diet. I went, well, I did. They're like, no, you need to actually change your diet. You don't have to eat perfect. You just have to eat better. And I was like, that doesn't sound like fun. I was being honest. She goes, you need a cheat day. You should have one cheat day, but you have to change the way you're eating. And I did it. All of a sudden, that 75 pounds jumped up to me dropping 149 pounds. It took a year and a half. That's how overweight I was.
Phil, that was a whole person.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to send you the before and after picture, and you're going to swear you didn't know the person in the before picture. Like, I don't look anything like it.
So then, is it possible then that we could include your before and after on social media?
Yeah. It was one of the jokes. I don't do a whole lot on social media, but when I posted that picture, everybody was like, and that's fact. That was how I ended up teaching, was the joke. Was the owner of the gym went, listen, I need you to start working here. And I was like, yeah, you can't afford me. That was my attitude. I'm like, you can't pay me to work here. And they're like, no, Phil, seriously. Everybody has watched you lose that weight. You're laughing at me. I'm telling you the truth.
I'm being serious. I mean,
it's not the best paying job, but when you get to give back, like, and the members love you for it. They don't like you. You became a part of their life. You helped them change their lives. It's like, it was great. So I said, why would I take this job? She goes, because they're going to follow you. I said, why? She goes, because they watched you do it. You're not a paid actor. Nobody paid you to be here. You didn't go get surgery. They watched you lose that weight. They go, you're the person everybody wants to follow behind. And I thought they were crazy until I took the job. and my classes were sold out immediately, like right away. The day they hired me, it was a wrap.
So now, how often do you teach? And then are you able, like, do you have set classes that if anyone besides me wants to show up?
No, all right. So I teach on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 9:15. Those are the hours that I teach. A.m.
9:15 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
It's morning classes. It's always morning. I don't like to teach nights because, see, when you come to my class, not if, when you come to my class.
You're talking to me or somebody else?
I'm talking to that person right there. That person, me.
You're talking to the audience.
And the audience. When you come to my class, what you will see is, wow. You're gonna be wow. You're gonna want to do this. It's great. You'll start out going, you look around, you go, I'm scared. No, you won't be scared. You're gonna be like, this is the best ever. You'll see. It's different. It's fun. I like to keep it fun. I don't want it to be a serious. We're not at a funeral. I say we're trying to avoid the funerals. Okay, that's why we're here. We're here to avoid the funerals. Everybody wants to have a good time, so that's why we're here. It's a fun party atmosphere. I look around the room and I go, I know what I need to do for today. I literally profile the room. And the age group would drive you insane. It's literally from late 70s to early 20s.
Oh, wow.
It's somebody from a different company just happened to be in town, came to the gym as a visitor of somebody else. And after the class, he walked up to me, goes, I'm the director for, he's the East Coast of this. He goes, I've never seen a demographic like this. He goes, what did you do? I went, I prepared. I prepared. I learned to love this. Like, and look, I've taught other classes. I need to be clear. I teach Insanity. I've taught boot camps, and I'm good at it. And everybody's like, his classes are great. But in this room, there's just nothing I can't do. I'm really happy. And they tell me they feel it. They feel it. They see it. They're like, the instructors, you're just in with us. We could feel it coming off of you.
All in.
So that's what I want you to do. Okay.
All right. So Phil, I may join you. There's another class that I also have to take from one of my good friends too. So, and we'll probably have her on the air too. But yeah. So you might see me around the gym.
Oh, come on.
You might see me in the room. But for those who want to join and do a class, how do they sign up? You know, if you could just tell them like where you are, best way to reach you, and if you have like a social media handle that we could get in contact with you at.
All right. So the social, my Instagram says the dark horse, 24/7, because the class is labeled at other gyms. It's not called spin when I show up. They don't call it spin. They don't call it cycle. They call it the ride. Because that's what it's not like anything else. Look, we don't have weights on the bikes. You know, it's not any of that. My job is to emulate you riding outside. I have to emulate that. So they call it the ride. So the best way though, they can come down to LA Fitness and get a guest pass. Come try it out. The salespeople here do that on purpose. Their attitude is they'll schedule your visit around my class. And what happens is they're doing the tour and you walk up and you go, what is going on in that room? And you're like, yeah, he's here all week. And is he part of my membership? Oh yeah, he's free. I'm a free part of your membership. And they joined. They made fun that during COVID, they lost so much money. And they said they couldn't wait because I didn't come right back to work right away after COVID. I just, you know, my kids are in school, now they're home. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have time to come out and run my business. Okay, I'm still running my business.
That's right, your full-time business.
So when I finally called LA Fitness Corporate up, they're like, you're back? You're back? We get you on schedule right away. You're back? I went, yeah, you sound way too happy though. So I was like, yes, I'm back. And the salespeople were like, Phil, the gym has life again. Like they make me feel good they make me feel appreciated. I can't lie. I keep doing it because they make me feel appreciated. So
Phil, we appreciate you coming on the Fit Doc Michelle Reed podcast. We're going to make sure that people know how to reach you. And
LA Fitness, Garden City.
I was going to say, you and everybody else is welcome to come out to do a Saturday morning workout at 7 a.m. And in case you can't make it, you can always tune in virtually on social media, either Instagram or Facebook, and still do the workout with us. So thank you so much, Phil, for coming on and talking about the importance of health and your transformation from where you were to where you are now. And
I'm going to get you that picture. You're going to love it.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to post it.
God help me. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you so much for being a part of the Fit Doc Michelle Reed podcast.